So it's not his fault. And it's just another example of how things get done instead of just talking about doing things. Your comments about the mayor were way off base.
Oh, they were they?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what was your name again?
Wayne.
Wayne, right. And where are you calling from?
Here in the city?
I see. So, Wayne, what you're saying is that you think the mayor simply showed a lapse in judgment as opposed to being the consummate idiot I've always known him to be?
That's what I'm saying.
Quick sidebar here, Wayne. Did you actually vote for this guy in the last election?
You bet I did.
Oh, well, that explains everything. Okay, Wayne, I'm going to tell you what you need to do. Now listen carefully. You may want to write this down. Now, first thing tomorrow morning, I want you to go down to the unemployment office because I bet dollars to donuts you're too stupid to have a job. And I want you to fill out an application and tell them that you want a paper route.
Hey, I have a job.
Don't interrupt me, Wayne. You might actually learn something. So, now you've got your paper route, which will provide you with your first ever paycheck. And that will force you to see just how much tax money is coming out of your back pocket or your purse or whatever it is you happen to carry, Wayne. And you'll see just how it's being flushed down the toilet to fund your mayor's moronic programs and scams.
Look, I don't appreciate
I'm not going to tell you again, Wayne. So, on that day, when you're out delivering newspapers at 5 a.m., alone, because your wife left you, because who wants to be married to a loser that delivers newspapers for a living? I mean, who wants to be married to a paper boy? I want you to unroll one of those papers and take a good hard look at the front page, which says that the idiot that you put into office is facing prison because the collusion and the money laundering finally caught up with him.
Hey, you know, you ought to just shut...
I warned you, Wayne. Rule number 1, you don't interrupt the host. You know, I guess they're right. You can't talk politics with some people. We gotta take a short one here and pay a few bills. You're listening to Around the Block with Neil Fazio. Overnight, every night, on WKFW AM radio. We'll be right back.
You must be a little tired tonight. I almost heard that guy get in 3 words.
Keeping that guy from talking was doing him a favor. So you got a cigarette?
Nope, and neither do you. The cleaning lady narked on us yesterday. She told Jim she found a butt in the men's room.
I'm bored. The morons are especially drab tonight. Say, whatever happened to that hoser from Schaumburg? You know, the one who used to call and threaten me from aboard the mothership?
I think they made him station manager.
I need to be motivated. It's no fun eating people alive when they just lay there and take it. What I wouldn't give for just one worthy opponent. At least one per show.
Well, stir somebody up. By the way, you're on in 20.
Right. You're listening to Around the Block with Neil Fazio. Overnight, every night, on WKFW AM radio. Welcome back, disgruntled listeners far and wide. You know, speaking of politics, I was driving by the courthouse today, and I saw a group of fanatics holding a protest or rally or whatever, and I saw that all of their signs were written in Bible verse. And most of these whack jobs were praying out loud like a bunch of Trappist monks. So I assumed that this was just another group of religious nuts out to tell the rest of us not to abort babies, or not to read porn, or not to enjoy cigarettes, not to do anything that conflicts with their twisted sense of morality that they want to shove down the throats of normal people. And I said to myself, when did we hand the reins over to these people? Exactly when did they take it upon themselves to be the self-appointed conscience of the masses? Our phone lines are open. I'm very, very interested in getting your thoughts on this. Back in a moment. You're listening to Around the Block with Neil Fazio. Overnight, every night, on WKFW AM radio. We'll be right back. Well, we'll see just how many holy rollers are up this time of night.
Worth a try. Back up in 10. And it looks like you've got some fresh meat.
Beauty. You're listening to Around the Block with Neil Fazio. Overnight, every night on WKFW AM radio. And we're back. Vince, who's our first caller?
Kelly from Morton Grove.
Kelly from Morton Grove. You're up on the Neil Fazio program. What's on your mind? Kelly. Oh, Kelly, are you there?
Sorry, I'm a little nervous.
No need to be nervous. Just go ahead. What's on your mind?
Why are you so mean to everyone?
Mean? I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just a harmless little hush puppy.
No, you're not. You're abusive and you act like you know everything.
Well, Kelly, have you ever stopped to consider the fact that maybe I do know everything?
Like that thing you said about those people at the courthouse. Did you have to be so insulting about it?
Hello? It's called entertainment, sweetheart. Now, the way that I describe people and situations is just the way that I conduct business.
I'll pray for you.
Would you mind repeating that?
I said I'll pray for you. I'll pray that God softens your heart.
Well, Kelly from Morton Grove, I appreciate the kind sentiments. Thanks, but no thanks. A softer heart, just not gonna work for me. But real quick, would you mind telling me...
Gone.
She hung up. I guess she wanted to get a head start on that praying thing. God's probably got to get up for work pretty soon. Hey, you know, Vince, maybe we ought to launch that for a new promotional campaign, Come say a prayer for old Neil Foz. Monday we could pray for a raise. Tuesday we could pray for a Mustang convertible. Wednesday, well, you get the idea. I guess we have our subject. The insanity of faith and the kooks that make it happen. Now, I don't care if you believe in divine intervention, worship trees, or if you think that your parakeet bears an eerie resemblance to the Virgin Mary. Give me a call. I want to hear from you. So help me God.
William from Evanston.
William from Evanston, go ahead. You're the next caller on the Neil Fazio program.
Hey, man, what do you think you're doing? You can't trash people's beliefs on the radio.
I call it enlightenment, Billy, and I'm just giving the people what they want.
Yeah, but religion's off limits. People take their faith serious.
So, what are you, Baptist, Catholic?
I'm not any of those. I don't even go to church, but I defend people's right to believe what they want without being made fun of.
But how can you not make fun of a group of people who wave their hands to God, thinking that it's somehow going to give their miserable little lives meaning? We're coming up on a hard break here. So come on, you thumpers far and wide. You haven't convinced me of anything yet, except that you're all a bunch of whiny hypocrites who can't make a case for anything. So when we come back, I want to hear you give it your best shot. Now, I don't care if you're Methodist, Presbyterian, heck, how about Jesus himself? If you're listening, JC, and your people say you are, I want to hear from you. I'll put you at the top of the line. Right back in a moment.
You're listening to Around the Block with Neil Fazio. Overnight, every night on WKFW AM radio. We'll be right back.
And we're out. Well, looks like you got that nest of bees you wanted. The lines are all lit up.
Bring 'em on. I'm feeling my oats tonight. Hey, can you believe that woman?
Which one?
Well, the one that said she'd pray for me.
Seems to make him feel good.
It just gives him a false sense of control. Like there's some kind of operator that I have to go through just to make God make joyous things happen in my life.
We're almost up. Hey, Foz, is it a waste of time to say try not to offend anyone?
That really offends me.
You're listening to Around the
5,
Block with Neil
4,
Fazio. overnight every night on WKFW AM radio.
Welcome back, believers and believerettes. It's Neil Fazio, and tonight we're looking for the truth. And what makes you religious people tick? I want to know. Do your prayers ever get answered? And how do you tell the difference between answered prayer and good old-fashioned luck? Give me a call. Let's get it out in the open. Vincent, release the hounds. Yes.
Hey, Foz, you have to take this one first.
What's the name?
I'll let him tell you.
Go ahead, caller. You're next on the Neil Fazio program.
Hi, Neil.
And with whom am I speaking?
It's Jesus.
Would you mind repeating that?
I said it's Jesus.
Jesus himself?
Jesus himself.
Well, hello, Lord. And to what do I owe this honor? Is it your majesty?
Jesus is fine.
All right, Jesus. What made you call?
You said you wanted to hear from me. And I'm also a little curious about if you meant what you said.
About what?
About looking for the truth.
Oh, you bet. So, JC, is it okay if I call you anything I like?
Within reason.
All right. Let's get down to my first question.
Shoot.
The other day, I was driving past a Little League field, and both teams were lined up along the base paths, praying before the game.
Uh-huh.
So if both teams are praying before the game, how does God decide who wins?
Well, it's not about who wins.
Oh, so athletes that pray before a game are just wasting their time?
Well, no. Prayer's never wasted.
Oh, that's so.
Yeah.
So all that training and working out is overrated, huh? A few holy molies and you're good to go?
Prayer's not just reciting words, Neil.
Lessons in prayer from someone who knows. Thanks for enlightening me.
No, it's more like reminding you. This is the stuff you knew when you were 8 years old, Neil. Remember how you used to pray before every game? The other kids used to make fun of you, but you whispered your prayers anyway.
Yeah, well, my little mind wasn't fully formed back then. Besides, I think most kids back then were instructed to pray before games.
But your prayers were different.
In what way?
Well, most kids pray to win.
And?
But you didn't necessarily pray to win. You only prayed that you wouldn't make any mistakes.
And how would you know that?
At least no mistakes that people would notice. It wasn't about winning or losing with you. You actually prayed to be invisible. To just get through the game without messing up.
All right. Who put you up to this?
Nobody.
Was it Kevin?
Your cousin that played with you?
Yeah.
You and Kevin haven't spoken in 11 years. And even back then, he would be the last person that would ever make fun of you.
If you're joining us late, we have on the line with us the Son of God, or the Amazing Kresgen, or some serious stalker, I'm not sure which, but I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. Tell me, Jesus, where have you been keeping yourself for the last, 2,000 years or so?
I've been right here.
So, were you with that group of protesters that were outside the courthouse today?
Oh, they weren't protesting anything. They were praying over a decision that was being made inside the building. But to answer your question, yes, I was with them.
I see. I'm beginning to get a bead.
At the same time, I was also with you as you drove by.
Oh, so, you think you know all about me, huh?
Uh-huh.
So, what color shirt am I wearing?
That's a parlor trick, Neil. I called to answer your questions.
What questions?
I believe your topic was on faith.
Right. So, look, Jesus, we got to do a short commercial break, but would you mind hanging on? We'd love to continue on the other side, if you'll pardon the pun.
I'll stay as long as you want me to.
Groovy. We'll be right back. Hey, Vinny, patch me through on this guy.
He's on.
Hello?
Hi, Neil.
All right, who are you? My ex put you up to this?
No,
Then who are you?
I'm who I said I was.
Now, listen, you're a fruitcake is what you are, pal. Now, I don't know who you've been talking to, but why don't you just... Wait, hold on a second. Yeah, what is it?
No, don't cut this guy off. Every line is lit up now. This is great stuff.
You still there?
Yeah.
Look, I don't know who you've been talking to or what you're up to, but my producer wants to keep you on a little longer. But you listen to me. You stay on topic or you're off. You got it?
Loud and clear.
And I'm still gonna find out who you are.
It's over, Neil.
And what is?
Your commercial.
Yes, we're back. Talking with, now, brace yourselves, Jesus of Nazareth. And people say I don't get the hot guests. So, Jesus,
Yes?
what good did it do for those kooks, your followers, to stand outside the actual courthouse where a decision was being made? Did they have to be on location for God to hear their prayers?
No, of course not.
Well, then why didn't they hold their little vigil at a church? Isn't that what it's for?
They were in church.
You want to run that by me again?
Oh, it's all in the definition mainly. Churches, in this day and age, have come to mean a building for worship and preaching.
And, don't forget for passing the plate.
Right. But in actuality, the word church is taken from a Greek word that means the people of God, or collective body of believers.
The point being?
The point being, you don't actually go to church, you go to be with church.
Fascinating. So, if those people don't get their wish, was it all a big waste of time?
It's not a matter of filling a wish. God's not Santa Claus.
Then, why pray?
Well, look at it this way. It's the method of communication that God set up for people. Any relationship gets stronger when two parties can communicate.
Well, that brings me to a question that's always bugged me, Jesus. Stay with me here, Now, according to the Bible, when you were supposedly on earth, we'll call it the first time, the Bible states that you were continually praying to God.
Yeah?
And that same Bible also clearly states that you are, in fact, God Himself.
Uh-huh.
Well, call me crazy, but isn't it technically impossible to pray to yourself?
Nothing is impossible.
Oh, yeah. Nothing is impossible with God, yada, 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 so forth and so on. Just answer the question.
I'll give you the answer, but there's no way you can fully understand it.
Try me. The question is, if Jesus was God, then why did He pray?
You know, the same question could be asked for why I slept and why I ate, why I cried, felt pain.
Are you stalling?
No, not at all. When I walked the earth, I was fully God, but I was also fully man. One of the main reasons I came was to teach mankind how to live a godly life. So the best way to do that was to become one of them and provide a righteous model for them to emulate.
Which means what?
It means that I sought the Father's will and I depended on Him. And I prayed to Him, just like He expects everyone to do.
With all due respect, existing as two different people at the same time doesn't make sense to me.
With all due respect, it's not intended to make sense to you.
Moving on. You want to take a stab at the fact that Christianity, your home court advantage, is arrogant and intolerant in its claim to be the one true faith?
What bothers you most about that statement?
If I had to pick something, I'd say it's the way that evangelicals try to make people think that they've got the morality market cornered.
So, you want to discuss other religions and morality?
Why not? Let's fire it up.
You dabbled with Eastern religions back in your college days, right?
What, did you read that in some old station bio or something?
Well, is it true?
Yeah, it's true. What about it?
Well, what's the ultimate source of morality in Hinduism? Does their ultimate source establish right and wrong?
No, the source is amoral. In Hinduism, the ultimate force is neither right nor wrong. It simply is.
So, what's the basis for morality if the source of all things is non-moral? What decides what's right or wrong?
My understanding is that people do.
But people are an extension of the source, right?
Yeah?
But you just said the source is amoral. So how could people be left to decide? What do you remember about Buddhism?
Enough.
Enough? Is that your answer?
All right, smart guy. In Buddhism, the ultimate reality is an abstract void called nirvana. You enter nirvana by traveling an eightfold path.
Go on.
You enter nirvana by traveling an eightfold path and stamping out all attachment and desire in yourself. Once that's eliminated, all of your suffering ends. Your turn.
Well, let me ask you something. Would you agree that the majority of human accomplishments, like inventions and discoveries, heroism, for example, would you agree that all these are achieved by someone having passion?
I guess.
Not to mention the fact that humans have millions of sensory nerve cells in the skin, all designed to provide pleasure.
What are you getting at, Messiah?
The fact that that part of Buddhism just doesn't make sense.
Which part?
The part that says that this impersonal universe made very personal human beings, that all have great desires and the ability to feel pleasure.
Point B.
But the goal in life is to ultimately get rid of all desire?
Well, I guess that part doesn't make sense.
Tell me this. Do you think that maybe the suffering in India was so great that Buddha tried to come up with a belief system that was based entirely on alleviating suffering?
Who knows? Well, Jesus, it's been great having you on. We'll see you for cake and ice cream at Christmas time.
You're listening to Around the Block with Neil Fazio, overnight every night on WKFW AM radio. We'll be right back.
What do you think you're doing? That clown had enough material to finish out the show.
And the show is my show, you got that? We talk about current events and subjects that I choose, not the other way around.
What? That guy get to you? You think he ate your lunch on those questions?
Just gave me the creeps. That's all, that Little League thing and all that other stuff. Hey, give me a cigarette, will you?
Still can't do it. You're up in about 10.
You're listening to Around the Block with Neil Fazio, overnight every night on WKFW AM radio.
Welcome back. You know, all this yapping by the city council about a new basketball arena has got me on the brink of vomiting. Now, follow me here. Now, the city expects you and me to fork over 5% more of our hard-earned money to provide a bunch of 25-year-old millionaires with an overpriced, overbuilt playground. Now, if you have any brains at all, you agree with me, so let's hear about it. Who's up, Vince?
Stuart from the South Side?
Stuart, you're the next caller on the Neil Fazio program.
Hey, why'd you cut the Jesus guy off?
Because it was time to move on to other business, Stu. The guy was starting to bore me. Now, do you follow pro basketball?
I really like the way he explains stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure you did, Stu. Vince?
Christina from Naperville?
Christina, you're on the Neil Fazio program.
Is there any way you can get the guy who said he was Jesus back on?
Look, we get thousands of callers per week. Do you think we have everybody on redial?
He was more interesting than anybody else you've had on this week.
Well, Chrissy, that's your opinion.
Well, can you have him back on again?
Look, Chrissy, everything here is supply and demand. We take callers in the order that they come in. If the guy calls back, I'll put him on, okay? Now, do you have a comment about the arena?
No, that was it. Bye.
Vincent, who's next?
It's that guy, Foz.
What guy?
The Jesus guy.
We got anybody else?
Nobody. Every other line went black.
You're kidding me, right? We have a little surprise for some of you. Jesus has returned. Caller, are you there?
Hi again, Neil.
So, what pearls of theological wisdom are you going to lay on us this time?
I think I made enough academic points for one night.
So, why'd you call back?
Because there's something you still want to know.
Oh, really? And what's that?
If what I said about prayer never being wasted is true, because you prayed once and you never thought I heard.
Well, I think you finally blew one, pal. I can't remember the last time I said a prayer.
I can. It was the night your son died.
What?
You prayed that he wouldn't die, but he died anyway. And you've been mad at me ever since.
Why didn't you save him?
The reasons he died, and the reasons I didn't step in, go into that long list of things you won't understand until another time.
Yeah.
But listen to me. Even though you gave up on me that night, it might comfort you to know that I've never given up on you. And I'd love to talk with you again. Goodbye, Neil. I'm here when you need me.
Yeah.
You've been listening to Around the Block with Neil Fazio, overnight every night on WKFW AM radio. Join us tomorrow night, same time, same channel. Now stay tuned for Sports Shorts with Bob Breeding.
Foz, you okay?
Yeah, just fine.
You want to hit the booth and get tomorrow's promos knocked out?
Can we do it a little later? I'm gonna go grab a bite.
Just don't leave me hanging.
I won't.
So who'd you think that nut was, anyway?
Maybe he was who he said he was.
Excuse me. Can you tell me if there's a coffee shop close by, open this time of morning?
Yeah, there's an all-nighter just around the corner. I'm heading that way if you want to tag along.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Neil Fazio.
The radio guy.
You listen to the show?
All the time.
How about tonight?
Yeah.
Some show, huh?
Yeah, it was some show.
I think you'll like this place around the corner. Really good coffee.
Oh, yeah?
And no frappuccino, no capo latte. Good coffee.
How are the eggs?
Well, they're okay.